Hi everyone, welcome to the Book Brood, and this is going to be an April TBR, March, or what?
April.
Spring? That's what I was going for. Spring. Keep it casual.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? We'll see.
Mine's a lot of library books that I have to return, so mine's gonna be more April.
You have a drop dead date.
Yeah,
of where
I kind of do.
To get done. Yeah. All right.
Are you talking about?
Mine's
Tome
very
Topple?
Casual. Were you going to do something separate for that? Yeah?
I mean, whatever. Either way,
Okay.
You're going to be reading it all month, right?
I am. Pandora's Star. I'm going to take another crack at this one. I've been on page 23 for a while now, but I'll make it to 24 at least. I'll promise you that by the end of April.
You know what? I've got the sequel for mine here. So I'm going to be reading the same thing I was reading for Tome Topple last time, too.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
And that's
Perfect.
the first of these chunkers, Lancelot and Guinevere. So, yeah. Since I didn't make it much farther than you did.
Perfect.
Awesome. And then I need to finish book 3 in the Cut and Run series and Iron and Velvet. Apparently this has a sequel, but I'm not sure if our library has it. But I'll probably pick that up as well. And I have book 4 and 5 in the mail coming to me, so those are going to get read. Yeah.
Very fast, within days. Then I'm currently on the audiobook of Philip K. Dick's The Three Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch. This is one of his... All of his books are weird. Who am I kidding? Anyway, this one's about, like, business of, like, black market business with drugs and, you know, someone coming from an alien star system and, you know, all sorts of interesting characters all over the place that are playing these roles that haven't quite figured out yet. There's little dips of kind of other stories he did, like there's precogs in this, sort of like there are in Minority Report, and then there's this, the drug is called Can-D, so it's kind of correlates with Substance D from A Scanner Darkly, which was the drug in that one, so it feels like very much sort of teasing the just kind of overall world. I don't think he ever did any kind of shared universe thing or anything like that, but just kind of little sprinklings of his other stories in there, which I think are cool so far.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
So I'll be getting through that one eventually.
All right. I have...
Ooh.
I know, right? Some big chunkers. Oh, I have the sequel to him, which I read last month, and this is Us by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy, and I will be picking that up, although I hear you don't exactly have to. It's like, it's a duology, but...
go back and revisit.
I know. It's pretty awesome. I'm hoping
your family is going to be in there.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Do you want me to keep going?
Oh. You could. You have a lot of stuff there.
I had to pare it down to just a few things.
Just a few. Well, good luck with that. I decided I'm going to read The Chrysalids by John Wyndham this month. Sue from the restricted section drew this out of her TBR jar, and this is on my top 100 sci-fi list, so... And I haven't read it yet, so it's like, alright, I'll read this in April too, and see how that one is. It's a small one, so I'll keep cracking at them.
I could never remember the title of this book, but I love the synopsis, and I'm very intrigued. This is the Book of Strange New Things by Michelle Faber. Michael Faber? Michelle? I don't know. And this sounds awesome. This is a science fiction story about this man who, I think he's a priest, and he goes off on this expedition, like, to a new colony, I think, way out in space, and he's communicating with his wife back on Earth, and suddenly his wife's communications start to get, like, pretty scary. Like, some scary stuff is happening on Earth. Like, there is, like, a ton of natural disasters and wars starting up, and she's fighting for her survival, and he's there's no way he can help.
Right.
Like, he is way the heck in space.
Yikes.
Yeah, so it sounds really...
Thrilling.
It sounds like, yeah, really thrilling and also, like, emotional because he's going to be feeling helpless, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Since I'm trying to finish a 1,000-page book and more this month, the only thing that I'm going to commit to, or, well, I'll just do Fortunately the Milk by Neil Gaiman, if I get a chance to get to it. This is just a quick little, I think it's a children's story, but it's illustrated, and we've got this nice thrift store copy, but it's a hardback, so...
Yeah.
So if I finish the huge book plus some, I'll go ahead and I'll read that.
I have heard mixed reviews of this, but this is The Grace Keepers by Christy Logan. I hear you love it or hate it, so I'll give it a shot. This sounds whimsical and magical, and I'm not sure if it's really my thing, but I'm going to give it a shot. There is one character who lives on land and one character who lives on the ocean, and this world is very divided. The people who live on the water, like, are the lower citizens, and like they're not really allowed on land, and one of them falls in love with a land person.
Uh-oh.
I know. Apparently this is supposed to have two ladies falling in love, and I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm not committing to actually finishing it because of the mixed reception, I guess. Sure. I don't know.
Sure,
yeah. I mean, the synopsis sounded way too much like The Night Circus for me.
Oh.
So, and I hated that. Well, I didn't hate it. I just didn't connect with it at all. So, and then the last thing I have is All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood. And this is a story about a young teenage girl whose parents are meth dealers, and she's trying to take care of her younger children, and she lives a very neglected life, childhood. Her parents are not really there for her. Mm-hmm. And she forms a friendship with a much older man that turns into a romantic relationship, and it's the best thing in her life. But then another adult comes into the situation and realizes how messed up of a situation that is with a young teenage girl and a much older man, and tries to, like, intercede. And it sounds really hard to read, but it sounds really interesting. I'm intrigued to see what happens.
Yeah. So. That does sound really fascinating.
Yeah.
You should tell me about that one.
Will do.
All right, so there's our TBR for April, or however long we decide. Mm-hmm. Let us know what you think. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.